Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another edition of UFC post-fight or post-fight, whatever you want to call it. So post-fight, UFC fight night, Dern versus Hill. I'm going to just recap it, just focus on the L's and maybe a couple wins, but mostly the L's. And yeah, let's talk about the card so I can talk about where I can improve at or where I went wrong or whatever the case may be. But anywho, you're in the video, so you're watching the video, you're here. But so first fight was the first fight I got wrong. So the first fight was the first fight I got wrong. It was Demba Garimbo versus Takashi Sato, and I realized that I made a bad pick. Really like probably a couple days prior to the card, really. But like, it's already at that point. It's like I ain't gonna go back here and shift no pick or nothing. Like, hey, I'm gonna take this L. I'm gonna take the L. Betting wise, I can make adjustments, but prediction wise, like yeah, I'm gonna lead out. I ain't gonna make say this video's void and this video's valid and all this other stuff. Like, hey, it is what it is. I made my mistake. I'm gonna ride it out. And yeah. But like I said, betting that stuff you can always adjust. I didn't bet on no Sato. I bet on even up to that point I was already low confidence on Sato. But I like say actually, reality this should be Garimbo, and then just some bets there. But anyway, that is what it is. But as far as where I went wrong with this one or the issue with this one was when I look at Sato, like really watch him, he was too reliant on again being a one-handed fighter. Like he was too reliant on that. His output wasn't that much. You become limp. You start to not. Why you not doing the jab? You just doing straights, really straights and crosses. Like where's your jab at? And like the jab is the range finder, the distance control. It's like everything. Your jab is like everything. That's like the key to your car. And you just out here. I mean, you can have a good straight. You can have a good left hand, good right hand, whatnot. And like I say, you could get far. Get decently far. He made the UFC with it. But then you start like you get to this level, you gotta diversify. You can't just rely on that. You got to be able to have a jab or something, or at least maybe some hooks, maybe something not just oh I got this, I just got that. So like it's not like it's phenomenal either. It's good, but not good enough to not have everything else. And yeah, one punch is I always say he's a one-handed fighter, and he's allowing himself to become even more. I feel like outside of UFC he looked better, but I feel like since he got in UFC, probably took a couple losses now. He lost confidence. He's still just relying on one thing. Now it's like you start to lose confidence. You rely even more so on that one thing. Now you look very predictable, easy to time with punches over the top. Somebody catch like he like if I throw that same punch, if I throw that straight, slip it, throw a hook overhand. And look, I think Garimbo got him with that in this fight too, because he's so relying on it now, and the reads are already there. Like, but to get to the point of it, it's like one dimensional and becoming even more one dimensional and relying on it, becoming less confident. Garimbo actually looked pretty decent against AJ Fletcher, but they still show the greenness. But going in with Casado, he's only got to worry about striking and that one punch. And like I said, you see one punch, you could duck underscore takedown him, you score shots on top. And Garimbo looked like AJ Fletcher's a pretty strong dude, and Garimbo looked like he was stronger than him. Like usually Fletcher just muscle bound everybody at least through the first round around. And Garimbo's actually one taking him down, taking his back. So like he don't look all that polished, but he must be pretty strong, and like his technique looks like it's improved prior to his UFC fight. He looked more improved than his prior to the UFC fight. So yeah, Guerrero was more well-rounded guy. He could mix it up, stronger and way less predictable. Not as bad momentum. Garimbo was the clear pick, and I oversaw that was my worst pick on the night. So I didn't say how I went on this card, but hey, you can look in the description. I went 8-4, 8 of 12, with like 66% or 67%, however you want to call it. Decent night. Could have been better. Like I said, this was an easy one to look at and easy one to say point out there. This was the worst pick on the card for you. Yeah, the writing was on the wall. Second pick that got wrong was Cozy with Gilbert Urbina versus Orion Cozy. And this one, the writing was on the wall. These Cozy brothers, they lose in the second round like all the time. That's their MO. Like you could have just picked second round and hoping that maybe Cozy would win, it would be in the second round, or Urbina won and it would be in the second round. But yeah, you could say Gilbert Urbina wasn't this, wasn't that, but it's the thing is, unless Cozy is fighting just a one-dimensional fighter or a guy that's just legit trash. So like a one-dimensional fighter, like a guy like what's his name? The guy he beat last, little Blood Diamond, who's just a striker who's really just came to the game and got like what, a year, 2 years of experience and rushed into the UFC. He kind of up there in age, so he's like, I gotta rush. I don't have no choice but to rush. I want to be in the UFC. I want to do this and that. A guy like that, he'll beat him, or they'll beat those type of guys. But it's seeming like any guy that's more than him, one dimensional, and with some experience will beat them. That's what it seemed like. So going forward, that's the thing to look at. And Arbino looks pretty decent, looks improved, but still, yeah, it is what it is. Like I just feel like the Cozy brothers, they got a pattern to them, and definitely looking. I said in the past before, and I decided like, no, he got one win, and I picked him that fight against Blood Diamond, and that was a win for him, and a win for me. Like that, this shifted me a little bit off my already general analysis of them that these guys aren't that good and are like they're gonna be fade material. But again, he got a gift against Blood Diamond because got a one-dimensional striker who doesn't have the most experience, and that was the person he should beat. But you're going over with a guy that's well-rounded and experience and decent, they're gonna lose. So yeah, in second round, if they're gonna lose second round, like the best thing. That's the pattern they lose is they can't look okay. He didn't look okay at all in this fight, but they can look okay through one round or look good through one round. But second round, TKO'd. That's the best way to bet against a cozy. But yeah, that's the best way to be cozy. So just going forward, that's what I'm gonna predict them wise. Predict bet. If I'm betting to lose, well, I'm probably going to lose. Unless they fight a one-dimensional fighter, fade both Cozy brothers. Or a fighter who, I don't know, I'm just going to fade them in general, unless they go in there with a guy that's one-dimensional like Blood Diamond. And inexperienced like Blood Diamond. But they both look like easy fade material. So yeah, that was a clear enough L. The first one was a very clear L. This was a clear enough L. This was the second most clear one. Third one was Karina Kovacevic versus Vanessa Demopoulos, and I picked Demopoulos, I think, by sub. I think second round, third round sub. In this one, I can't feel too bad about it. It is what it is. But I did know, I guess what I did know already going in is that Demopoulos doesn't have the best offensive takedowns. Even some of her sub wins in the UFC, like, what she fought up? That 40-year-old Spanish boxer woman? Silvana Gomez Juarez, and even that one, she didn't take her down. She got dropped, and then Silvana Gomez Juarez followed to the ground, which was stupid, and then she tapped her out. Yeah, she hadn't really done the best job of getting these fights to the ground. Then against who else she fought? She just literally just out. It was a sloppy fight, but she just outworked her. Another fighter up there in age, but again, Carolina Complicated up there in age, but she's more polished than the fighters that than the fighters that Demopoulos has beaten in the UFC. But yeah, so I guess the clearest thing is that Karolina Kowalkiewicz, I knew she was the more technical striker, that's for sure. She is getting back. She has gotten back on some momentum now, especially on a 3-fight winning streak. But now going to the fight was a 2-fight winning streak, so she was the better striker. Demopoulos can't really take people down. Her takedown offense is pretty weak. In this fight, I don't think she attempted one takedown, and that was in the third round. So already got bad takedown defense and doesn't go for that many takedowns. And is the lesser striker. So I was hoping for her to get that edge where you go in there with a young older fighter. She's not that far behind, maybe like 4 years behind. And stuff just happened. Like people started to get old, started to fall off a little bit. I mean, she was able to resurge a little bit, get her confidence back with 2-fight winning streak. But people started to get old there. And they started to lose people like, how you lose to this person? How you lose to Sean McCorkle? Like, how you lose to Seth Petrozelli and stuff? You start losing to weird people like that when you start getting older. So I was kind of banking on that, like, and her making a mistake. She did go to the mat, but she did decently on top and was able to really defend herself well against against Demopoulos. So good win for Carolina. Is it it's not that's just it just happens. It's stuff that really draw in there to say how you could have made the better pick in there. It's for sure. Is it the worst pick? Not at all, but it's definitely stuff that's out there to say, yeah, she don't have the best takedown offense. She don't go for the most takedowns. Carolina is clearly the better striker. But the fact that all it would take is one little slip up, maybe Demopoulos making a scrappy fight, and then a grabbing situation ensues, like they throwing shots. Now I know where maybe a little tripping here, maybe get a little body like here, or maybe Carolina overcommits here, and then she's able to Demopoulos able to initiate a grappling sequence where she can actually tap her out or secure some top position or something. And then all that would take, and the fight could end like that. So I was kind of banking on that. I wasn't banking on like the fact that the Demopoulos will come out here, be the cleaner striker, be out there mixing high and low, hit her with overhand, then bait her, then go for a double leg. I was expecting out of Demopoulos. I was expecting like a little bit sloppier, but still gets the job done in that one. So good win for Carolina, but Carolina, like Demopolis, I know the spots where she favored material. Like anyone that's a good war on the fighter that's pretty decent will fold up Demopolis. Not fold her up, but beat her pretty easily, I feel, or at least be easy to predict against her on. Maybe trying to clean these little lower level women out and these maybe some geriatric woman, maybe Demopolis can pull through in those areas, but a decent overall fighter will beat her 9.1, in fact, 10 times out of 10, I would say. I'm probably exaggerating there, probably like 9.5 times out of 10, I would say. And Carolina Kowalkiewicz, she get her confidence back, but the moment they put her anywhere near anybody decent, like the people that's actually relevant right now and actually trying to, have hope of challenge for title, winning the title, or even being in that top 10 picture, she about to get folded again. Probably subbed out again. Probably finished again. So Carolina, that's probably make it better for you to get max value betting against Carolina going forward because she's only gonna have to get pushed up to better women. So yeah, good on there, but like good win for Carolina, but definitely gonna have my eyes out to be bet against her very soon. Like she gonna go very far. She ain't about to go back and rise up. She about to, like I said, get maybe maybe one more win maximum, and then probably go another skid, then retire after that. So all she doing is making the line a little bit better. And now fourth L was Michael Johnson versus Diego Ferreira, lightweight division. And yeah, I think with this one, you guys say Michael Johnson is consistently inconsistent. His record shows he like 500, maybe below 500 at this point. We like 15 and 14, 15 and 13, kind of similar record to Angela Hill. And like he has moments he could beat Dustin Poirier, he could beat Tony Ferguson in their primes, but he also could lose to like I don't know some random journeyman British fighters and UK fighters and this guy and that guy, Miles Jury and whatnot. And now Diego Ferreira, but like I said, beat these guys, but can't beat this guy. But Diego Ferreira fought a good game plan. He came in very confident in his team. He didn't come out look like he was scared of Michael Johnson striking at all. And he already had a clear game plan, and the game plan worked. Like he was trying to draw his hands low or draw reacts out of him to try to like swipe him with the head kick a little bit when he was lowering his level. Then eventually started to get the reactions out of him. Maybe he thought like a kick was coming, or maybe a takedown. Dropped his hands. He caught him with overhand. He saw what's his name? But yeah, Michael Johnson got caught that same punch at featherweight. I forget the name right now. Just lost to Yair Rodriguez. Oh yeah, Emmett. Emmett caught him with a similar name. Yeah, but Michael Johnson won the first round. But the whole time, the one who was actually set up the actual doing the better setup work was Diego Ferreira. He clearly won. Do I feel bad about this pick? Not at all. But I do say what I should have done is just general KO. I picked KO Michael Johnson, but the general KO would have cashed regardless because Michael Johnson got knocked out. So it don't matter who knocks who out, and it probably would have had the same value. And I would have guessed my what's called first look or yeah, first look where I was saying this one well don't always just try to go for the full value because yeah, you go for KO X fighter, the X fighter you get knocked out, and now it don't cash versus you just general KO. No matter who KOs who, it would have went in the hoop. So and it would have been the same value because they were everybody was expecting like either Diego Ferreira sub or you was expecting Michael Johnson KO or Michael Johnson decision or something like that. Well, as far as the finishing method, you were expecting Diego Ferreira sub and you were expecting Michael Johnson KO as far as finishing. But actually, Diego Ferreira knocked Michael Johnson out cold, like a light. So yeah, that was how that card that went. But yeah, especially with a guy like as inconsistent as Michael Johnson, sometimes it's better just to go with the general because like I hope that hey, either he knocked this guy out or this guy knock him out because he's so inconsistent. But then security about Michael Johnson is that he could lose this fight and get knocked out and he go back out there, look good, and win his next fight. So it's always like you never know. Flip a coin, you go on Michael Johnson. Flip a coin. Let's do it. Let's flip a coin. Eddie Ferreira, he looked improved on the feet, and I think he could have a little bit of resurgence. But the moment he go in there with another heavy grappler or a better overall striker, better overall fighter, or fight that with some decent takedown and some good striking, he'll lose again. But hey, he could probably pick up some wins now. Like his striking looked more improved than in the past. He looked composed out there. He was on a losing streak, but he looked confident in this one. Maybe because he was fighting Michael Johnson. But yeah, I still think he loses to Garen Ross and loses to heavy chain wrestlers, guys that just could tire him out. It still loses to Benil Dariush. Like I said, he could get back up on some wins, but he same exact fights he lost, he'll lose them again, probably the same way, maybe worse. So good for him to get back on the win streak. But as far as the betting side, maybe bet him one more fight or bet him the next fight, depending. But beyond that, I feel like he might got one more win in him before he goes on like another losing streak. But yeah, good win for Diego Ferreira. Showed good improvement and good composure out there. It was able to do a good game plan, follow to the T, and get the desired result. So good win for Diego Rivera. And now probably with two more closing remarks, I'll talk about the main event, and I'll talk about the Edmund Shabazian versus Anthony Hernandez. So my losses are out the way. It's just wins from here on. So those are all my 4 L's. And now when I got feel bad about that, my confidence for Anthony Hernandez was shifted by just hearing people talk like they literally weren't saying nothing, no good arguments. They were basically saying like, I like Edmund Shabazian, I'm going to stick by Edmund Shabazian. They weren't saying nothing good. But they said, oh, Anthony Hernandez ain't this, Anthony Hernandez ain't that, and I really was high, maybe even a lot confidence Hernandez. But by the time I made my video, I shifted it to average. Like my confidence shifted to average, and the way I went about it was average confidence instead of like going about the way I should have went about it, because I allowed people that literally had no good logic behind picking Shabazian to allow me to shift my confidence all the way from like high to just average. Like when I should have been an average pick. I mean, I said it should have been a high, not average. Should have been a high confidence, if not lock confidence pick. I shifted it to an average confidence. But like, because when I look at Edmund Shabazian, it's already a pattern out there. Like, who did he beat to make people shift their confidence? Man, hasn't been all that active. He made a gym change. Kudos to you, made a gym change. But have you shown improvement by switching to that gym yet? We have not seen it. I can say he showed some improvement in this fight, but his fight IQ was ultimately his biggest issue in this fight. But back to him, like it's a pattern. Like Brunson, wrestler, grappler, striker, wrestler, wrestling type style. Brunson, wrestler, wrestling type style, grappler type style. Brunson, Herman said wrestling, grappler type style. He lost to him similar way, but Brunson did it obviously did a better job than Hermanson in that fight. And the third one. Imaevov, not quite the same thing, but again, still finished on the mat. Shabazian like got dragged out like with the first round or what. I think got finished later on, so on the ground. So that was his the blueprint to beat him. And you see Anthony Hernandez going for like scoring like 8, 9 takedowns in his last. In one fight scored like 8, another fight scored 9. Just chain wrestling, heavy cardio, heavy work rate. And yeah, it was a clear thing. But yeah, that should have been a higher lot confidence for Hernandez given his style. And his recent track record versus Shabazian. What did he do? He beat a bodybuilder that can't really wrestle, a judoka bodybuilder who got 1 round of cardio. So somebody Shabazian should have beat. Shabazian beat him the same way everybody else beat him. Take him out the first round, finish him the second round. So nothing. Shabazian had anything to disprove what had already been out there on him. So that should have been a high or lot confidence given that the history was already there. So yeah, that's all I'm gonna say about that one. But one thing I would say, a lot of people just try to blame it. Well, his cardio, he's this, he's that. But it wasn't his cardio, it was his fight IQ that failed him here. Because he did a whole lot of grappling. He did good in some of the grappling exchanges. Obviously, Hernandez was beating him in the grappling exchanges, but he did good. He went for some good submissions. He reversed some positions. Like, he did good. But the thing is, you're the better striker. Then why keep playing around in the grab? Like, maybe go for submission. You don't get it, get back to that. Maybe do that like at the end of the round. But that's a lot of energy that's been expended by doing that. And you're like draining time off the clock. Well, not draining time off the clock. You're taking energy out of your gas tank. That's the biggest issue. You're taking energy out of gas tank. Even the people with some of the best cardio in the world are average or even a little bit above average cardio, whatnot, will get gassed out by that type of pace that Hernandez puts on in the grappling exchanges. What he's on at the middleweight division is actually pretty incredible as far as cardio. You don't really see that at that rate. Except with maybe some young upperweight fighters like welterweight, middleweight, light heavyweight, and then some of the phenomenal welterweight, middleweight, light heavyweights, heavyweights, or whatnot. But typically, that type of stuff is reserved for fighters at lower weight class. Even now, we start to see lower weight class fighters get to a certain age. They don't be putting that work rate that Hernandez put on. That work rate would tire anyone out. And it's the fact that Shabazian chose to engage in that, and he knowing that that's not really his strong suit. Like, he improved in that area, he a little bit overconfident in that area, and that was his downfall. I'm not saying that he would have won if he didn't do this, but he would have had a better shot of winning if he did not engage with Hernandez in the grappling department as much. As a matter of fact, I think he went for a takedown on Hernandez. Yeah, so he played the grappler too much. If he would have had one to increase his chances of winning, it would more so to maybe grapple, but mostly just to disengage from that and get from that realm and just keep it in the striking realm as much as possible. That would have gave him a higher chance of winning. But his biggest fail in this fight was his fight IQ, not his cardio. So that's all I'm going to say about that one. And then the main event, good win for Dern. Hill continue to show us her pattern. Like, she loses to everyone in the top 15. And just adds yet another top 15 loss to her record, or what top 10 for sure is a clear indicator where Hill lose. Not top 15, but top 10 for sure is a clear indicator where Hill's ceiling is at. She can't beat no one in the top 10. Even if it's close, even if it's arguable she won, she can't beat no one in the top 10. That's her struggle. She can't beat the judges in the top 10, and she can't beat the fighters in the top 10. In this fight, she just got clearly dominated by Hill. I mean, got clearly dominated by Dern. She had like a good second round, but outside that, she got dominated. Showed improved submission defense, improved grappling, but yeah, Dern showed improved offensive takedowns, showed improved striking, even hurt Hill at one point, almost finished her on the feet at one point. So good improvements from both fighters, but Hill's getting up to age. She's getting 40, so she's getting near 40, and yeah, her career is probably about to come to a near end, or unless she's gonna probably maybe just stick around in her like as a gatekeeper as she already has been. Like no insult is the truth, to stick around as a gatekeeper and just kind of bring fighters along or test that they belong. But I think it's already been clear that she's not gonna go much further. Like she's reached her ceiling, and that's been like with the pattern that's clearly to be seen that the top 10 without a doubt is her ceiling. Especially with the judges in there as well. Like she could have beat Lemos, could have beat Waterson, could have beat Cadelia, but those were her moments. I don't think she's gonna come any bit closer now at this point. So yeah, good win for Dern, good improvement. If she can translate that same takedown rate or that success rate that she had in this fight to her other fights going forward, Dern could see herself getting a title fight, I think, potentially. I feel like she kind of tapped out as maybe a title eliminator, or that's as far as she could go. But I feel like she could potentially get a title shot with her improved takedown offense, improved striking. Do I think she wins a belt? I don't think so. But hey, she's still young enough. She's still making improvements. And yeah, so she can make some adjustments. And I think with this one, what I predicted Dern third round sub, and that was her close round two getting the sub. But yeah, he'll show that improvement. Yeah, nonetheless, good win for Dern, and good future ahead of her. Just gotta keep improving, and she can go far. So yeah, that's the video. Went 8-4, 8-12, solid card. Not phenomenal where I wanted to be, but a great card. Well, good. I'm not saying great. A good card nonetheless. Not great, but some small adjustments could have made that a great card. And that's the video. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, and come back for more videos. Peace.